the light that never dies. Hope is not found in comfort. It is born in struggle, it grows in faith, and it lives in the hearts of those who dare to believe again. From the cobbled streets of London to the green valleys of Wales, from the quiet Scottish Highlands to the buzzing streets of Manchester, one thing has remained constant throughout the history of the United Kingdom: hope. The kind of hope that rises even when the sky is gray. The kind of hope that speaks softly, yet carries the strength of 1,000 voices. The kind of hope that has built nations, healed hearts, and changed the world. The story of the United Kingdom is not just about power, crowns, or empires. It is the story of people, men and women, who dared to dream when the world doubted them. Who stood tall when the storms came. Who left behind not wealth or fame, but something far greater. A legacy of hope. Sunrise, a nation built on resilience. Every generation has faced its own challenges: wars, poverty, injustice, and loss. But through it all, the people of Britain found ways to endure. They rebuilt cities after bombs turned them to dust. They stood together in silence when the world was too loud. And they believed that no matter how dark the night became, dawn would always come. In that belief lies the heart of the British spirit: quiet strength. A strength not shouted, but shown. Not forced, but felt. Dubbed the spark that ignites change. Hope doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence, from those who refuse to give up. In every era, there have been voices that reminded the world of that truth. Voices that taught us compassion, courage, curiosity, and care. Princess Diana, who taught us that love can heal even the deepest pain. David Attenborough, who showed us that the earth is not ours to conquer, but ours to protect. Stephen Hawking, who defied the limits of his body to explore the limitless universe. Queen Elizabeth II, who carried the weight of duty with grace and dignity. Winston Churchill, who turned fear into courage when the world was burning. And Malala Yousafzai, a new voice of hope, reminding us that one girl with a book can change the future. Each of them carried a torch. Each of them lit a path. And together, their flames built a fire that still burns across generations. Movie camera, a message for our time. Today, the world feels uncertain again. Wars, climate change, divisions, and despair. It's easy to lose hope. But if the stories of these remarkable people teach us anything, it is this: hope never dies. It transforms. It evolves. It lives in us. The legacy they left behind is not trapped in history books. It breathes in every act of kindness, every innovation, every dream pursued against all odds. Hope is not just their story. It's our story. A call to the dreamers. If you are watching this, if you have ever felt small, unseen, or unimportant, remember this. Every great change began with someone who refused to give up. Every legacy began with someone. Princess Diana, the heart of compassion. Carry out a random act of kindness, with no expectation of reward, safe in the knowledge that one day someone might do the same for you. Princess Diana. Tulip, the people's princess. There are people who wear crowns, and then there are people who wear hearts. Princess Diana was both a royal by title, but a queen in the hearts of millions. Born in 1961, Diana Spencer grew up dreaming of a life filled with love and purpose. But when she stepped into the world's spotlight as the Princess of Wales, she entered a realm filled with pressure, expectations, and public eyes that never blinked. Yet in that blinding glare, she found her own light: kindness. Diana saw what many could not. She saw the lonely child, the forgotten patient, the grieving mother, the man society looked away from. Where others walked past, she knelt down. Where others stayed silent, she reached out her hand. Broken heart breaking the walls. It wasn't her glamour that changed the world, it was her empathy. At a time when royalty was expected to stay distant, Diana broke the invisible walls that separated the palace from the people. She sat beside those with HIV and AIDS when fear surrounded them. She hugged children in war zones when others wore protective gloves. She walked through landmine fields, not because she had to, but because she believed she must. Every action was a message to humanity. No one deserves to be invisible. Every life has value. Diana wasn't perfect, and that's what made her powerful. She showed that even in pain, you can bring healing. Even in heartbreak, you can bring hope. Sun behind rain cloud strength in vulnerability. Behind her grace, Diana carried storms of her own loneliness, heartbreak, and the crushing weight of public scrutiny. But rather than let it destroy her, she transformed her pain into purpose. In a world obsessed with appearance, she reminded us to look deeper. In a culture chasing fame, she pursued feeling. In a system built on silence, she spoke truth. Diana's courage wasn't in her title, it was in her tears. She taught millions that showing emotion isn't weakness, it's what makes us human. Her humanity broke barriers, her love built bridges. And through it all, she became not just a princess of a nation, but a symbol of compassion for the entire world. Rose a global impact. Her charity work reached every corner of the globe. She supported more than 100 causes, from hospitals to homeless shelters, from mental health to children's welfare. Every handshake, every visit, every word she spoke left ripples of change. But her greatest legacy was not in money raised or projects started, it was in hearts touched. Because when people saw Diana, they saw themselves, their struggles, their hopes, their dreams of a kinder world. She didn't need to say much, her eyes said it all. The farewell that shook the world. And then came that day in 1997, a day that silenced millions. When news of her passing broke, the world stopped. The streets of London filled with flowers. The gates of Kensington Palace overflowed with tears. Children cried. Grown men wept. Because it wasn't just a princess who had died, it was hope that felt lost. Yet even in death, her spirit lived on. Her story reminded us that kindness never ends with one life. It continues in the nurses who care for strangers, the teachers who inspire, the people who choose love over judgment every day. Diana's light didn't fade, it multiplied. It became a movement. It became a legacy. Rainbow, the legacy of love. Today, decades later, Diana's message is more powerful than ever. Her sons, Princes William and Harry, carry her memory forward through their own work for mental health, humanitarian causes, and global unity. But beyond royalty, Diana's true kingdom is in every act of kindness that happens quietly across the world. Every time someone chooses empathy over ego, she lives again. Her legacy whispers a message to us all. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more love. And that is the essence of hope, love, and action. Musical note transition narration. As Diana's story fades into memory, another voice begins to rise, one that reminds us of the planet we share, the home we must protect. From the depths of the ocean to the tips of the mountains, one man gave nature a voice. Sir David Attenborough, the voice of nature. No one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they have never experienced. Sir David Attenborough. Herb, a voice that awakened the world. In a world of noise, few voices have spoken as softly and as powerfully as Sir David Attenborough's. For more than 7 decades, he has guided humanity on a journey through forests, oceans, deserts, and skies, revealing the delicate miracle of life on Earth. From the deepest coral reefs to the frozen Arctic, his words became the heartbeat of nature itself. Through the camera lens, he didn't just show us animals, he showed us ourselves, fragile, curious, capable of both creation and destruction. Seedling the curiosity of a child. Born in 1926, in the quiet town of Isleworth, young David was fascinated by the natural world long before he understood its science. While other children collected toys, he collected fossils, stones, and leaves. Each object, to him, was a story waiting to be told. That curiosity never faded, it grew. It led him to Cambridge University, to the BBC, and eventually, to every corner of the globe. What began as a boy's wonder became a lifetime mission, to help humanity fall in love with the planet again. Globe showing Europe, Africa the power of story. Attenborough's genius was never just in what he showed, but how he showed it. His documentaries didn't shout. They whispered. They invited us to slow down, to listen, to remember that we are part of something infinitely larger. Series like Life on Earth, The Blue Planet, and Planet Earth changed how the world saw nature. Each frame, each word, was poetry wrapped in science. Each episode was a reminder that beauty and survival are intertwined. When he spoke about a bird spreading its wings or a whale gliding through the sea, it felt sacred, as though the earth itself was telling its story through him. Globe showing America's The Warning. But even as he celebrated nature's beauty, Attenborough carried a warning, a truth few wanted to face. He showed us melting glaciers, dying coral, vanishing forests, and species lost forever. Not to frighten us, but to wake us up. He reminded the world that we are not rulers of this planet, we are guests. That progress without care is destruction. That the real measure of human intelligence is not what we build, but what we choose to protect. In his words, the future of humanity and the natural world are inseparable. Butterfly, the eternal teacher. Even in his later years, as time slowed for him, Attenborough never stopped working. He adapted to new generations, streaming documentaries, global campaigns, digital storytelling, all with the same message: we still have time. He spoke to presidents, scientists, and schoolchildren alike. He taught not with authority, but with love. Because hope, he believed, is born from understanding, and understanding begins with seeing. A legacy beyond time. When people hear his voice, that calm, steady tone, they feel connected to something ancient and sacred. It reminds us that the world is alive, that every living being shares the same home. His legacy isn't just a collection of films. It's a movement, a reminder that the greatest story ever told is still being written. And that each of us has a pen in our hand. David Attenborough's life is proof that wisdom isn't in speaking louder, it's in speaking truth. And his truth is clear. The world belongs to those who care. Sun behind small cloud, the hope he leaves behind. Because of him, millions of people now plant trees, clean oceans, reduce waste, and fight for wildlife. Because of him, a new generation looks at the earth not as a resource, but as a relative. Because of him, the planet has a voice, and that voice will never fade. He reminds us that protecting the earth isn't a sacrifice, it's an act of gratitude. And gratitude is the beginning of hope. Musical note transition narration, soft orchestral swell. The music shifts from the sounds of waves and birds to the quiet hum of the universe. A new story begins, one that transcends the earth itself. He could not walk or speak easily, yet his mind traveled beyond the stars. His name became a symbol of genius and of hope that lives even in the face of limits.